Today we're going to talk about a few areas of everyday life that make it the hardest for our human brains to say no to, including drugs, processed food, shopping, and social media. Understanding how they work can help us avoid having our lives manipulated by these things. The reason these things are harmful is not because the ingredients themselves are bad, but because they are concentrated in the wrong way. It's because they've been concentrated by modern technology that they've become problematic. With this in mind, you may be able to redefine the meaning of drug. The history of natural drugs and the dangers of concentration drugs aren't some magical substance that just fell out of the sky. Psychoactive compounds such as cocaine, amphetamines, opioids, nicotine, and alcohol actually come from nature and have been used by both humans and animals. The reason plants evolved these ingredients was originally to ward off insects. For example, the amphetamines found in the leaves of some plants can make insects frenzied, and in turn, easier to catch by predators. Opioid and alcohol components, on the other hand, make insects move slower and reproduce less. Although we are far different from insects, we share at least 60% of our genes and therefore have similar psychoactive receptors. For humans, we are far more resistant than insects, and have even found that small doses of these ingredients can be beneficial. To give a few examples, cocaine comes from the coca leaf, which is chewed to temporarily eliminate hunger and increase stamina and concentration. Opium is derived from the opium poppy and is a great painkiller. Tobacco contains nicotine, which allows concentration and, incidentally, destroys parasites in the stomach. Alcohol, on the other hand, opens the stomach and promotes appetite. Marijuana and psychedelics have therapeutic effects in some cases, and can also be used in religious ceremonies to allow one to transcend daily life and explore new perspectives. For our ancient ancestors, the life of gathering and hunting was full of hardships, exploring and adventuring around, fighting wild animals and enduring injuries, and it seems completely understandable that small doses of these phytochemicals could make them feel better mentally. However, keep in mind that these psychoactive ingredients are usually found in very low amounts in natural plants. Eating wild fermented fruits won't make you alcoholic because the alcohol content is so low that you'll be full before you get drunk. However, as civilization evolved, we learned to concentrate these ingredients, thus making them more potent and creating new problems. For example, we extracted cocaine from the coca leaf and made a highly pure powder. We made methamphetamine, heroin, cigarettes, etc., which are industrially concentrated versions of natural ingredients that deliver thousands of times more pleasure and dopamine release than the natural versions. In this way, natural ingredients are concentrated and turned into drugs. Examples of drug abuse. In the United States, the abuse of opioids, such as fentanyl, is particularly high. In some countries in the Middle East, the drug of abuse is Captagon. Originally invented in Germany in 1961 to treat ADHD in children and depression in adults, phenethylene works by increasing concentration and causing euphoria. In Middle Eastern countries, where drug and alcohol use is strictly prohibited for religious reasons, phenethylene was first used as a prescription drug to refresh the mind when it was not considered contrary to the teachings. Later, the Islamic State terrorist organization, ISIS, gave phenethylene to its soldiers in large quantities to increase endurance, and even some suicide bombers used the drug. This is why it has been called a jihad drug by the Western media. In fact, it is also taken by soldiers of the Iraqi government and ordinary people, and is regarded as a form of refreshment similar to coffee. But high concentrations often lead to abuse, and when used excessively, the drug is no longer beneficial, but addictive, leading to an endless wanting. Please like and subscribe. This will be very helpful to me. Thank you very much, and let's continue. Food. From survival tool to seduction. Similarly, modern food can be considered a drug in a sense. As we all know, cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of modern health, and the main cause is obesity, which is rooted in the fact that we eat too much. In the early 20th century, heart disease was not common in the United States, and people did not need to lose weight. The government at the time even encouraged the people to eat more. However, by the 1970s, food became abundant, and obesity and cardiovascular disease became prevalent. This was not because modern foods were toxic, but because they were too tasty. The modern food industry has concentrated nutrition and flavor through mass production. In the past, people ate food that was usually bland in flavor, mostly vegetarian, and meat was very rare. Even when meat was eaten, wild animals were low in fat due to their high level of running and movement. And it was only when we entered an agricultural society where domesticated animals didn't have to run that fatty meat became common. The food industry has created high-fat and high-sugar foods to suit our tastes, which creates two problems. One is an excessive concentration of calories, and the other is that it makes people eat too fast. For example, a potato chip has 7 times more calories compared to a potato of the same weight. There are also examples where a cup of bulletproof coffee has the same number of calories as a healthy breakfast, but the nutritional value is far different. Shopping and information. The endless cycle of scarcity. In addition to food, shopping, and information, are also traps that modern society makes it difficult for us to escape. Many people think that the ancients didn't pay attention to material things, but in fact, in times of scarcity, people always tended to acquire good things. Today, industrialization has made everything cheap and plentiful, and shopping has become readily available, creating what is known as the compulsive buying disorder. The same is true of information. In the past, information was precious, and access to it required effort. Now, we receive more information every day than a 15th century man would have in a lifetime. Attention merchants push tons of irrelevant information to get our attention and make us their product, while advertisers are their customers. The high concentration of information is addictive. Short videos, hot news, social and death scenes, and other mental processed food are designed to maximize our attention. How to adapt to the modern condensed life concentration is not the same as bad. Concentrated active ingredients are the reason why modern medicines are so effective, and there is also a need for high concentration in life. Modern life does require concentration, whether it's for food, information, or entertainment, but we need to be mindful of moderation. My channel will continue to provide you with highly concentrated intellectual content that I hope you will benefit from. I will see you in the next video!